You're seeing a lot of destruction here because on the evening of September 30th, 2025, at 9:59 a.m., I and much of the country was awoken to a 6.9 earthquake that was in Cebu, Cebu Island. But the epicenter was in Bogo, which is where I'm going now. Hey, good morning, everyone. It is November 10th at 7:09 a.m. I'm on my way to Bogo City, which is just north of Tabogon, which is where I live. It's about 30 minutes away, depending upon how you drive or how you ride. I haven't been able to make very many vlogs lately, and I apologize. There's a couple of reasons. One is, well, I don't have any Wi-Fi, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get this uploaded. And I don't have the Wi-Fi because after the most recent typhoon, Typhoon Tino, Wi-Fi went out in a lot of places in my town and just in the area, and it has yet to be restored. You're seeing a lot of destruction here because on the evening of September 30th, 2025, at 9:59 a.m., I and much of the country was awoken to a 6.9 earthquake that was in Cebu, Cebu Island. But the epicenter was in Bogo, which is where I'm going now. It's maybe 10, 15 miles away, if that, about a 30-minute ride. So I just wanted to share with everyone about how much this country has went through, particularly Cebu, and also last night, the Luzon area with the typhoons. It was just an earthquake 5 weeks ago, maybe 5.5 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, something like that, and then followed up about 2 weeks ago by Typhoon Tino, and then last night Typhoon Uwan. Good morning. So a lot of the destruction you're seeing is from the typhoon and also after the earthquake. And the people of the Philippines are resilient, they're diligent, and some of the most accepting of life's challenges, the most resilient people. And so let's take a ride up to Bogo and see what we can see at on the way to Bogo here in Tabogon. We'll see some of the destruction, unfortunately, and what some of the people are dealing with. Many of you may be from Tabogon or Cebu Island or Bogo itself. We're going to take just a little ride up there. I will try to stop if I see something of, I guess, for lack of a better term, interest, and show. You can see things on the side of the road now. A lot of the destruction that you're going to see is not actually destruction from the typhoon or the earthquakes. I'm sorry, the earthquake or the typhoons. Although there have been over 10,000 aftershocks, many of them small, since the 6.9 on September 30th. So earthquakes, I guess, is correct. But the Philippines is a developing country. Now, trust me, it is not a third world country. You go to IT Park in Cebu or some parts of Manila. There's other places too where you'll feel like you're in New York City. It's really amazing. But I live out here in the province. It's peaceful living and simple living, and it can provide a lot of things that the city cannot provide. What you are seeing here, the big drop, is a break in the bridge, and there goes, there's my brother-in-law, he just went by. A break in the bridge, and you can see here some of the houses that were destroyed, and they're sinking. Hello, good morning. I remember coming here the morning after, or the evening of the earthquake, probably about 10:30, and all of this, much of this was newly raised up and cracked concrete. This wall here was, that wall we just passed on the left, or what was there before the earthquake and typhoon. So a lot of this I'm seeing for the first time since I've returned, which was on the 6th, well actually the 8th, because I stayed in Cebu City for a couple of days before I come back. So I'll try and point out things that have changed. Much is the same. This is new here in the way of where the road has broken up. You'll see many scooters here, and that is because you will see 90% scooters and 10% cars. Now, the closer you get to Cebu, it's about half and half. You get to the big city, but most people rely on Grab, which is like Uber here, or okay, this is definitely new here. You can see this sign that says caution, motor only, the bridge. Okay, so that means only motorbikes and walking, of course. But you'll see most people here, you can see some of the things that have fallen down. Hey, good morning, good morning. And you know, this life may not be for everyone, but you know what? The people here have taught me, this is new. This is much more raised up than what it was before. This crack right here, you see in the road right here, this is new. This is obviously from the earthquake. This country, these people have taught me humility and what's the word? I don't know if it's respect for life, appreciation for life. That big crack was not there in that exposed pipe before. It has taught me family and patience. You know, I'm going to make a video later on that's going to be called "The Philippines will turn you either into," if you're from a first world country and you move to the Philippines, it will turn you either into an asshole or to a saint. There's no in between. And the Philippines definitely has turned me more into a saint. Some days, not so much, but I am humbled by the people and the country here. I really am. They don't have much, and yet when they have an earthquake, they help each other. I'll be going to Danao City tomorrow morning to help with some relief goods with an organization that is actually in Bogo that will be traveling to Danao. We'll be distributing food, emergency supplies, and some other things that people there desperately need. These cracks in the road were here before. If you have any questions about things that you see while I'm riding, look at the timestamp and tell me what it is that you have a question about, and I'll be more than happy to help you. So this school right here is stopped in the way of no one's going to school anymore. The school to the right. Everyone is doing modular. Hey, good morning, good morning. Everyone is doing modular schooling now. So that's something that has changed, and it's because the structures of the schools have now become unsafe due to the earthquake, and the typhoons just made it worse. It's really sad. So hey, good morning. So if you see something that you want information on, just look at the timestamp, and many of these people know who I am and I know who they are. So I get some beeps from time to time. But it is early in the morning at 7:20. I started to make this video a little earlier. And when I did, there was karaoke playing. It was like 6:30 in the morning. The sun comes up at 5:30 here, 5:35. So I'm usually way awake. And hey, good morning. I'm usually awake, and people are out doing karaoke. You can hear it from the other side of the road. It's really something else. So it's just different. It really is, but in a good way. There's a sense of community here, and people, I don't know if I want to say depending on each other, but they know they can depend on each other. And that's one of the things that is different. Notice everybody's outside on a Monday morning at 7:17. They're outside, and yes, we do have Wi-Fi here, etc., and things like that. There's a car. We don't see a lot of those, and there's a truck. But kids aren't constantly stuck in their house connected to their Wi-Fi. Yeah, they are in their house using load. Load is what they call their Wi-Fi signal. I have another video where I talk about that. If you want to know what that is, let me know. But now we're going to see some cracks in the road here that some were here beforehand, some were not. But you see many of these houses that look like they have been, you know, like falling down. Some of them were like that beforehand. Some of them are like that because they're being rebuilt, restructured, starting from scratch. You see that sign there, you may have seen it, the red sign. It said SIM and load. Load is what they call their data. You can get monthly payment plans like in the US, you know, and you can finance your phone and pay an expensive bill, but I pay 600 pesos, which is just over $10, 10 US dollars a month for unlimited data, text and calling, and I love it. It's very economical here. It's not that the dollar is strong today, it's not that. It's just that the peso is weak. So right now I'm getting about 59 pesos for $1. So keep that in mind if you ever see in my other videos how much something costs. You can just say 60 pesos is $1. All this right here, there was this tin wall up beforehand, but it's down. There's a spring resort right here. It's really a nice place to go when it's hot outside. I think the high today is going to be like 87, and it's the beginning of November. It'll cool down a little bit as time goes on into what I guess is considered the winter months, but you're looking at like highs of 85, lows of like 75, 73 maybe. Everybody's outside cooking, trying to make ends meet, hustling. Hey, good morning. That's a nice lady right there. She's very, very sweet. She always says hello. When I pass by, I see her all around town walking, buying stuff at the market. All right. Now, up here, there's a lady that used to sell banana Q to me all the time I would drive by. Oh, so these right here are new. I think these are people that had stores at one point, but now they don't because of the earthquake and typhoon, so they have a makeshift tent set up. Many of these people you see a lady here outside washing clothes. Many of these people out here, I'll tell you about this spot right here in a second. Many of these people out here, and these cracks in the road are very new. They live where their store is. They sleep outside in their payag or hut. This is new. That break right there is new. This is, you can see here, hopefully if I can bend down enough, but you can see the large cracks in the road. He's a little more brave than I am. Actually, I'm not going to get off here right now, but I was going to show you some of the destruction. You know what I am? I'm going to turn around and show you what the typhoon recently pulled up. So right here you can see this right here used to be a small piggery, and I actually have a video of me washing my car, right, my scooter right here, and you can see it's torn down, but here you see the tree that was pulled up. This probably is from the typhoon. I'm sure the earthquake did not help. And then I want to show you also this. I'll wait for this gentleman and his jowa or asawa, which means a girlfriend or wife, to go by. But you can see half the road is closed down, okay? So this here, you used to not be able to see any of this because there was trees that were coming up right here, but you can see it's been blown down. Sad. And of course you can see the tree here that went down. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go get back on the bike and continue our journey to Bogo. Please understand that the town does not usually look like this. This is only because of the destruction that happened from the earthquake and then being hit by a typhoon just 3 weeks later, and then being hit 2 weeks later, which was last night, by another typhoon. Okay, back on the road. So right now, this is Tabogon. This is the town that I live in. This is the downtown area of the town that I live in. Hey, good morning. I buy chorizo from her. weekly. Very, very nice lady, has a nice selection of meats and some vegetables. New 7-Eleven off to the left, they just completed maybe 6 months ago, probably not even that. But here we're gonna go through downtown Tabogon. Hey buddy, I buy squash from him. So this is where a lot of, if you wanna go out to eat here in downtown, this is where you'd go. There's Chicky Oink, it's closed now. Again, it's only 7:30 in the morning, 7:24. There's Chicky Oink, they sell manok, which is chicken. And they sell baboy, which is pig. And there's a Minute Burger over there, which is like a very economical, cheap burger place, but it's open 24/7. But just not now because of everything going on. And what you might have just seen on the right-hand side were children selling cigarettes. It's a hustle here. It truly is. And you know what? I'm going to try and pass this bus. I recommend this place on the left called Eddie's Cafe we just passed. Really great food, Western food. And it's great for any Americans that or foreigners that want a traditional burger or maybe another type of dish from back home. So we're going to continue our journey on to Bogo. So if I get quiet, it's only just so you can spend some time looking at everything you see here. This crack in the road, this is new. That is definitely from the earthquake. People here are walking to work or walking to the market. We're going to be hitting some of the countryside, for lack of a better term, between Tabogon and Bogo. There's some areas that are really, really pretty and definitely rural. Again, anything that you see that you have a question about, drop it in the comments and let me know. My email is myphsimplelife@gmail.com. myphsimplelife@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to answer your emails. Sometimes I get a little behind, so the comment section is probably the best. But whatever works for you. All right, so now we're leaving the crowded area of Tabogon. Hopefully you can still hear me with the mic, this new mic that I'm using with my DJI Action 5 camera, which is amazing. But I'll tell you something, my iPhone is almost just as good. It just doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles, but the quality and the ease of functions. Hey! People see me come by here constantly, so I've got a lot of acquaintances. And plus I stand out because I'm what's called a Kano, K-A-N-O. The female version of me is a Kana, K-A-N-A. And it's pronounced Kano and Kana. And what that is it is the shortcut. Filipinos love shortcuts when it comes to, their language. We do too. Sometimes we don't say did not, we'll say didn't. Or we should, we say, we should. Well, I should say, yeah. So, don't or do not. And so, kana and kano really means, it's loosely used mostly for a white person, non-Filipino. But I guess it could really be used for any color person because kana, K-A-N-A, is short for Americana, which if you're an American lady, they call you an Americana. Or if you're an American man, you are an Americano. So, kano, kana. It's just the short term, the short word for American, male or female. All right, I hope this is recording good because this is good footage here. This is really good. Not too crowded, it's early in the morning, and it's a beautiful day here in the Philippines. See, many people don't have their helmet on. It's law, and yes, I do have mine on. You might be able to hear that. I just knocked on my helmet. I've been stopped a couple times for not having it on, not because I don't want to ride safe. You know, in my former life before I retired, I was many things, but one was a safety manager, so I understand the importance of safety, especially on the road. In the Philippines, the riding, driving, and the laws are completely different, where sometimes you just got to figure it out yourself. But sometimes I've just forgot, and I've been told a couple of times that I'll get fined if I don't wear my helmet. The ironic, the amusing part about that is I think it's a 300 peso fine. You have to pay it like within 10 days, but it's $5. 300 divided by 60 pesos for $1. It's actually right, yeah, it's right about $5. But $5 to the Filipino, especially out here in the province, that's a lot of money. So this here, actually, I'm going to stop and show this to you. I'm going to stop here and show you this school. So this school is part of what was damaged during the earthquake. So that up there is the school, and you can see here the roof just collapsed. You can see the cracks in the buildings there. The earthquake, I can't stress it enough, was so destructive. And then to add to it, the typhoons, particularly the first one that was about 2 weeks ago, a little less than 2 weeks ago, it just added insult to injury. Okay, so let's get back on the bike and continue our journey to Bogo. Okay. All right, so let's go up here. We're gonna be passing or coming soon to a fork in the road that to the left will go to Ilihan, and to the right will go to Bogo. It's not for a little bit coming up, but this would actually, if I'm not mistaken, be considered one of the highways, and they are working to widen it. There we go. You can see to the left is Ilihan, to the right is Bogo, and there's some dogs hanging out, monitoring all the people driving by. Now that was there before. I went to America before the earthquake. See coconut in the middle of the road. Shouldn't be there, but it is. Plenty of coconut trees here, at least in my area. That's one thing that's great, is that if there was ever an apocalypse or world hunger, or the Philippines was dying for food, which they have their days, unfortunately, but there is an endless supply of, and there's some bamboo trees that are down, you can see. There's an endless supply of coconuts here. Coconuts and mangoes, jackfruit, dragon fruit. In fact, I live in an area that is very close to some apartments that there's a cockfighting pit right there. Cockfighting, that's legal here. You can go there and bet, and it's pretty interesting. Sad a little bit, but it's just part of what they do here. Yep. So the coconut, the fruit situation here, there's plenty of And if you've never had coconut water, it's delicious. And the stuff you buy in the store, it's nothing compared to fresh coconut juice cut right out of a coconut. I've seen a friend of mine go to a coconut tree, barefooted, climb right up that thing like a spider monkey. Climb right up that tree, get the coconut, cut it open right with the homemade machete right there in front of me. And that coconut water is so fresh, obviously, like seconds old, never seen the light of day. And it's just absolutely a completely different taste than the coconut water that you buy in the stores that's already, you know, they say 100% pure coconut. It is, but it's just probably been filtered, you know, to get any shredded coconut out of it and things like that. But it's not fresh. It's not truly fresh. The typhoon yesterday was centered in Luzon, which is north, which is like the northern part of the Philippines. I'm in Cebu, which is in the center part of the Visayas. In terms of like if you're looking at all of the, you know, all of the islands, I'm in the center, but Luzon was where the epicenter. Luzon is where the Typhoon Uwan, which means rain in Bisaya. Typhoon Uwan centered right through the middle of Luzon, which is in the northern part, which is also where Manila is. Manila is a little south of where it went through, but it definitely felt it. We're much south, but you can see, you see that tree right there. That was definitely, that's something recent. You'll hear roosters. You might have just heard that one there. A lot of people have roosters. I actually have a rooster and some chickens. I have 20 pigs and some farm dogs on a little farm down the road from where I live. Just a small little piggery. You know, a lot of times when people retire, especially if they retire to another country, and they leave the hustle and bustle of the U.S., they get old, fat, and lazy. You might have seen from my other videos, I was fortunate enough to retire at the age of 48, and I've always been a little bit overweight, but I'm happy to say that I've tried to stay busy enough, whether it be with the piggery or whether it be just exercising, going and doing stuff, that I have not gained but maybe 4 pounds. So I'm happy about that. But it is easy to get lazy. It's very, very easy. So this is an area here. You can see they're raising some, I don't know if you can see, or maybe with the way my camera is around my neck. Hey! They're raising roosters there, probably for the cockfighting. I may be mistaken, but that's what those little individual homes are for. I can smell barbecuing going on outside at 7:38 in the morning. They will, you know, again, they're hustling, right? You know, they're hustling and just trying to make ends meet. But I will tell you this: some of the best pig I've had, liempo they call it, which means pork belly. The belly of a pork is the liempo. Has been pig that has been slaughtered that day and cooked that day. Almost like in America, especially if you're from the South, a pig picking. This was there before, just part of the road problems that they have here. And you know, with the destruction of the earthquake and the typhoon and the floods particularly, you know, I don't want to get into why myself and 99.99% of Filipinos feel that earthquakes, building structures, and floods and typhoons do so much damage than that same earthquake or typhoon would do, say, in the US or the UK. Much of the reason is, again, something I don't want to get into, but people say that funds just are not appropriated correctly, for a nice way to say it. And there's a lot of upset people. There's a lot of disappointment. And unfortunately, that stems from a lot of death and housing and things that people have worked their whole life for crumble at just a natural disaster. I mean, of course, a disaster is a disaster, but the damage it does is much more tough, destructive than it would be most anywhere else on the planet. And so that's one reason why you have to learn to be humble here, take the punches as they come, but yet also embrace the friendliness, the great food, the absolutely beautiful women, and the inviting nature of foreigners here. So for me to come here, and you'll see this on other videos too, for me to come here, depending upon whether you're married to a Filipina, or if you're coming over here and you just want to retire by yourself, or you just want to come over here and do a tourist visa. And there's other visas too. There's many, many visas you can do. But it's really all, and it's very, hey, good morning. It's easy to come here, and it's easy to get your visa, and it's easy to extend your visa. They welcome your foreign dollar, foreign currency. They welcome it with a smile. But they also welcome just having foreigners here. They're very open to, English is a second language here. Not like a second language like in America, how people might say Spanish is a second language, and you take, as an elective or as a semester thing one of your years in high school. No, it's actually a second language, as in you'll hear many, many people on TV and just in everyday life, you'll hear them say hello, good morning. You'll hear them say sentences, half in Bisaya or Tagalog, which is the main dialect, Tagalog, Bisaya being the second most popular dialect. You'll hear them speak half in Filipino, one of those dialects, and then half in English. And it's just what they do. It's English is a second language here. Many things will be in English, reading signs for you to read, and speaking. I can walk up almost to any Filipino, and they will understand everything I'm saying. Okay, so this road is a detour. This is the new road going to Bogo. Of course, you go that way if that's where your home is, but we're going to go this way and see. I never went this road before. I can see the foundation of many houses has been cracked, and they're cleaning it out to make new ones, to rebuild their foundation or to rebuild the house. So let's just see here. Oh, nothing to see here, just a man with his 4 goats. Good morning, Kuya. Kuya is just a respectable way. K-U-Y-A. It's like saying brother. Here's somebody selling. There's someone selling pandesal. Pandesal is a bread. And the pandesal might be 5 pesos, which is 10 cents, maybe less. But he's on his pandesal bike, going around through the town selling pandesal. And that guy that we just passed before, he's probably just moving some goats around. Okay, here's this little bridge. Okay. Okay, and you see the bamboo trees fell there. When I was coming back to Tabogon from Cebu City, from the airport a couple of days ago, I was almost in tears. I saw a hospital that had a basement, like a parking lot basement, that was flooded, that still had cars inside that were still submerged in water. I saw cars on the side of the road that were dry. They weren't wet anymore, but you could see that they were probably underwater at some point. Okay, now we're back on the road that we just detoured from. That were, at some point, were submerged in water, and they had just dirty mud dried on them with pieces of cardboard on the windshield that said, "Please help us. Food, clothes, water, anything." Now the water, yeah, it really got this place bad. Look at this. This is all open, tropical looking before. The water situation here, many people ask, I just had someone ask in one of the comments of another video, can you drink the water? If you're a local, you can. Like when I say the water, I mean like from the faucet. Yeah, and it might not hurt you too much, but if you're a foreigner, it's not a good idea. Be sure that if you order something with ice, that it's not tap water ice. Salad also, be sure that it wasn't washed with tap water. Not that the water is poisonous, but it just is not purified like we're used to in the US. So you see this is new also. So you buy purified water. So that plant you see that they just put in front of the road where that crack was just so someone has it, someone can see that, hey, there's a change here. There's a big jump. You don't want to ride over here. Good morning. Uh-oh. Rooster gonna get in front. So yes, we buy bottled water, or big bottles of water here. You can see that person there actually just had, looked like it was maybe a couple of liters in a container. Hey. And they probably got it from town. And you can see they still drink that too. They could probably drink the local water, but with the local water generally is used for washing your clothes, washing your dishes. I boil my water for coffee. If you boil the water, you're okay. So I use tap water to boil water for coffee in the mornings. I still have my display on my bike on miles per hour. It just gives me a better idea. If you notice, you don't see any signs for how fast you can go. You just go. But I have it on miles per hour, so I have a good idea of how fast I'm actually going. I've been here since March, middle of March. Okay, so here's something the earthquake did. Let's see here. Pretty big drop off. These tricycles that you're seeing, motorcycle with the sidecar, that's just someone's job. They own one and they just either get called or they drive around and will just pick people up. If they need to go to the market, they need to go to a store like this guy right here. It is regulated by the town and the city, but some people just have some that they just occasionally do and get around, but they're almost like tricycle taxi. Again, I can't stress it enough, it normally does not look this way. There's just a lot of debris from the typhoons. There's a structure that seems to have fell. Much of what I might comment on you might not be seeing depending upon the view of the camera, so I apologize. But maybe you are seeing it, I hope so. We're going to see some really open countryside here of Bogo here shortly. That guy that you just saw on the left, not on the bike, but walking, he had some coconuts in his backpack basket. When we get to Bogo, I'm going to go to the Gaisano, which is like a small Walmart. That's new. So I guess there were cracks in the road and the bridges, and they just came through and just filled them in as best they could for temporary. Because you see, there's not like other routes you can go, right? So if this road stops, if this road is taken out or is undrivable, then it shuts down everybody from here north and here south. So something has to be done. But we're going to go to Bogo, and as I was saying, we're going to go to the Gaisano, and we are going to go to just downtown, the downtown area, and see what that looks like. I've heard a lot of the stores are closed due to the structures not being strong enough or have not been inspected yet. So we're going to take a look and see. Thank you for staying with me on the video. I'm going to see if I can get around this guy after the bridge. Okay, here we go. Ta-da-na! Or let's go. And you'll see, here a lot of people pass people. And the polite thing is you beat just before you pass, and then they beat back afterwards. Just, letting them know you're passing, but it's totally normal here. We're not far from Bogo proper. When they say a city or a town and they put proper at the end, they just mean like center of town, not the outskirts. So we are now entering in what's called Dakit, D-A-K-I-T. This is part of Bogo. This is like the barangay, if I'm not mistaken. Barangay is sort of like, it's bigger than a neighborhood, but it's not the town. It's just like a small part of the town. They'll call it a barangay. Whoa, pretty low. So we're now entering Dakit, and I think the sign is coming up. It's on the right. It's a white concrete sign. It'll just say who the representatives are, the emergency numbers, and what the barangay that you're entering in. It's right over here. You are entering Barangay Dakit. You can see here diesel is 59.56 pesos and regular gas is 58.4. With the peso being right at about 59, you do the math, and this is for a liter, okay? So it's about $1, 59 pesos for a liter of diesel. A liter, that's all new. Gosh, some of the power lines. For a liter of diesel or a liter of gas, regular gas. Okay, here's one of the most, what's coming up. I'll try not to go too fast so you maybe can enjoy. But off to my left and right is some of the most beautiful views. Whoa! Palm trees, they'll sneak up on you. Palm trees, other just lush vegetation out there. I see a lot of baca, which is cows. There's a house back there. You might be able to see that. But this is beautiful. On a cool morning like this, on a bike, it's beautiful. This is truly simple living. These people that are living out here in these payags and these little kubos, which is like a little hut house made of bamboo. Good morning. This is true simple living. Not quite off the grid, but pretty close. Pretty close. Moving to the Philippines from a first world country will teach you humility. And the thing is, you don't have to have a whole lot of money to retire here. You know, if you want to know specifics, send me an email. You can build a nice house here for what you could pay for a single wide, a brand new single wide in the States. I just paid my electric bill for last month. It was 3,100 pesos, which is just over $50. And I have 3 ACs, and I run them a lot. This is terrible here. This was definitely not here beforehand. This is from the earthquake. My water bill runs me about $11 or $12 a month. My cell phone bill runs me about, I just buy load for it or service, about $11 a month. Rent, I don't pay rent because I own, but if you were to rent for $350 US dollars, you can get a nice apartment. You got a little bit more, $450, $500, it depends on where you want to stay, whether it's in the big city or not. If you're in the big city, you can actually stay probably in a gated community with a pool and all that stuff. And if you got more than that, you can go to Palawan, which is one of the wonders of the world, and you can have a really nice place. But it's pennies on the dollar compared to what you'll pay in the US. And again, the women are beautiful, they're feminine. The the peso is weak compared to the dollar. The food is great. The weather, if you like hot weather, you're gonna love it here. But, yeah, they have typhoons and they have earthquakes. But that's anywhere in the world. The last big typhoon that came through here was Yolanda, which I think was like 12 or 13 years ago. We have hurricanes in the US and we have earthquakes too. It's not like the Philippines is exclusive to that kind of stuff. Okay, so here we go. We are now in Bogo. I'll show you something kind of funny. I got out on my Facebook page, Randy's World Philippines Facebook page. This tree, it's just a tree out in the middle of the road with a reflector on it. Kind of odd. But they've got several. I don't know if the tree just came up after they made the road or what, but there's several of these trees you'll see growing in and on the road, right next to the road. I wish I understood, but that's okay. It's a nice Raptor truck there. There's a mom and a dad and 2 kids on the bike. And you can see here, it's not as organized, I guess, and processed as in the US with the driving. Everyone just kind of has manners, and well, most everyone here just has manners and just you know, let people go if they need to go and beep your horn if you need to. But I have yet to see any incident of road rage. Not at all. Not at all. people just beep their horn and they just go and just try and make the best of it. And you're safe. Try to be safe. Again, for those maybe who kind of skipped ahead, because I'm sure many of you do, we just left Tabogon. I've gone a little slow just so I can take my time, so we can just see some of the destruction that might have been left behind from the earthquake. See, many of these businesses are closed. They have their shed, garage door shed down. I'm actually I heard about the Jollibee here. I'm gonna come right over here and we're gonna take a look and see how the Jollibee looks. So Jollibee is equivalent to a McDonald's in the US. They're everywhere. I'll show you here the Jollibee, which you might be able to see behind me. This is the first one that you come to here in Bogo. You can see it's completely just destroyed. You see the AC is just hanging out the window. It is completely destroyed. So that is part of what was left behind. It's sad because an important part of the Filipino culture. It sounds funny, but it just is. In fact, my picture on my YouTube channel here and on my Facebook is me with my arm around the Jollibee bee, the Jollibee. So it's sad to see that. But we're going to go more into Bogo proper. And we're going to take a look and see what else might be there. And as I had mentioned, if you see something and you have a question about or a comment, look at the timestamp and I'll go back and look at what you saw and answer that question for you and give you some more detail. Now, a lot of these cracks here in the road that you're seeing with these gates up, they weren't here beforehand. That's also from the earthquake. This is where the epicenter of the earthquake was. It was right here. And there's a business to my left that's been torn down. Up ahead of me is, well, I've heard about it, was the McDonald's. We're going to find out about that here in just a minute. I actually ate a Big Mac at this McDonald's about 3 days before the earthquake. So let's see if we can navigate. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is new. Okay. So let me pull over right here at this gas station area. So this is where the McDonald's used to be, right here. You can, oh no, you can't see the sign there because there was a call sign. This is where the McDonald's used to be, right here. This was the entrance to the parking lot, and the McDonald's was here. It was a 2-story McDonald's, and unfortunately, it is gone, completely gone. But they have up some tin, I guess, so people don't get in there and try and take any remnant that's left. But yeah, so we're getting into the middle of Bogo. So this was a McDonald's, but unfortunately, not anymore. All right, let's get back on the road. Yeah. Definitely a lot of different road, different detours. Excuse me, Kuya. Asa Gaisano?
Ano? Go. Direct.
Left?
Left. Tapos right. Then right.
Yes, po. Thank you very much. See, everybody's being redirected around. Oh boy, yeah. So I took the right a little bit too soon. Now I'm hoping that there's many of you that are from Tabogon and Bogo that are either still here, or maybe you're in the States and you just wanted to kind of, maybe you looked up Tabogon or Bogo on YouTube. Okay, so this is the middle of Bogo, where a lot of the, I'll show you here, the Gaisano is right here. There's a secondhand thrift shop. There's Julie's. Definitely not crowded yet. So here's the Jollibee. And there's the Gaisano. Looks like the Gaisano is closed, but they're selling outside. Here's some more of the damage that the earthquake did here. This is actually the side of Gaisano. I'll give you an idea where we're at. There's the Julie's. I came up through this way originally. Back this way is the Gaisano and the Jollibee. Okay. You can see all the destruction. And in the background you can see a crane diligently working, trying to, you know, part of the challenge is that much of this was built very low quality to begin with. So how do you, without tearing it down, how do you not put a band-aid on it, but how do you rebuild something that needed to be rebuilt really on day one? On day one, this was not high quality. And so now they're suffering, trying to make a decision and how to pay for it. So this is just down the road from where I was, that crane that we were just looking at. And you can see here, this house definitely went through something. Trying to fix everything. This is the road that we were just looking at here. I'm going to go back down here. Okay, so here I am at, this is where the J&L shopping area is, or shopping store, department store. That is open, one of the few places that are still open. This is / was the Metro shopping center. Food and furniture and other things that you could buy. It's like basically like a two-story Walmart. But you can see that it is no longer intact. The other side around this wall, you can see where the damage is. It's just, it's terrible. Many other shopping districts, or shopping district and the shopping stores are closed. a jeepney right there. That truck to my right is delivering clean water. The water from the spigots here, from the tap, is not safe to drink, especially for foreigners. And clean water, purified water, is really tough to come by since the earthquake and the typhoons. Generally, the water from the spigot, I call it a spigot, from the faucet, the tap water, is used for cleaning your dishes and taking a shower. It's not dirty water, and for washing your clothes. It's not dirty, it's not safe to drink, especially if you're a foreigner. There's the Jollibee right there, or it used to be. That was destroyed. I believe in the earthquake it was actually okay. I saw pictures, it was still standing, had some damage to it and probably was closed, but the typhoon that we had almost 2 weeks ago is what finished it off.